Hello friend, how are you? Welcome to Tripan Study Center. Today we are going to do the chapter of social science and highlighting each and every point of it. Let's see what is our topic today. A world war is second. The World War II is the most important on this period time here. We have read about the legals of the nations and how it is a fail in its aim within 20 years after its formation. Even thought it was a set up with their aim of preventing future war. The World War II is started on the September 1939. There is the most important period time here. The World War II started on the September 1939. There is a UPSC examination question here. Let's find out why there is war took place. There is important why there is the war took place on this period time. The next point, according to the World War II, a cause of World War II. The World War II, like the earlier war, studies Europe and assumed the character of the World War. The franchise the country is wanted to be redivided the world for the imperialist gain and thus the come into the confessed with the established power. We know that Germany is politically and militarily is economically shattered by their threat of the Versailles, and she showed their revenge and was ready to have a tie to the strength with the allied power. The position of Italy was not a better on this period time. Thought the Italy's joined to alliance is a power during the World War One and with the hope of imperial gain, and she did not gain any colony after the war. And she lost nearly is a 6 lakh people during the war. There is a most important here 6 lakh people during the war, and both is a fascist is a Nazi party and glorified their war as a promotes to be their people, and that there would be a wearing back to be lost a glory of their country through the war, and they began to follow an aggressive policy of expansion throughout the conquest, and Germany annexed to the Rhineland in 1936, and Austria is in 1938, and the Czechoslovakia in 1938. That is the most important here. The Rhineland in 1936, and Austria is the 1938, and Czechoslovakia is the 1939. 38. This will be Stalin's attack to the Ethiopia, and this resulting in the social tension and conflict among the European nation. You have read about the rise of Japan as a military power, and also here a support for the fascist power. The fascist power that is important, and why the signing of the Rome Valiance Teco axis there is a three power community support to each other. There is a Japan was given a free hand to be expanded control in Asia and resigned of the Pacific, while Germany and Italy as would we have a free hand in Europe. The success of the Soviet Union alarming the Western power. The success of the Soviet Union alarming their Western power began to capitalist country. They want to be check their separate of colonialism, and so they adopt a systematic policy of favoring Italy and Germany, who were anti-communist, and this policy referred to as their appeasement policy. German army, which was restricted to 1 lakh soldier after the World War One. I have already discussed in this point, and increasing at a strength of 8 lakh soldier without any protest from the Western power. Even the Hitler put aside their threatening and the Versailles energy to the Rhineland and Austria. There are Western power remaining silent. A spectator. And in 1937, the civil war began in the Spain between two as a popularity elected to the government and the fascist of leader under to the German Franco. Hitler supplied to army and accumulation their overthrow. They are democratically selected the government in Spain, and Soviet Union appealed to England for a collective action against the German Franco. And when the whole world is sent support to be exciting government, and England and France did not we take any action on this as reason. The appeasement is a policy which is a climax when the Hitler invited their Prime Minister of Britain and France to the Munches is August 1938. The Munich Pact was signed to them in the 1938 and allowing Germany to annex to the Sudetenland in the northern part of Czechoslovakia and the little the wall of Czechoslovakia is annexed. The policy and appeasement is strengthened with a fascinating power on this period of time. It was now clear that Britain and France want to Germany and Italy to act against the Soviet Union. To stall this plan, the Soviet Union signed a pact with Germany by which both agreed not to attack one to another. And this gave here some time to prepare for a future confrontations and will Germany is obtain the neutrality of the Soviet Union. And the sense was set of the World War II. And when Germany attacked to the Poland on 1st September 1939 and British declared war on Germany on 3 September 1939. There is a period of time is the World War II for in the next year, according to the World War II, the consequence of the war. What is the consequence of the war? The war come to an end of September 1945, and this was the most destructive war in human history. It is causing a unprecedented loss of life, property, and resources. And big buildings were was to be ground, and thousands of people were uprooted from their homeland. The German Jews were either is exterminated to the sent to the concentration camp. That is important. The German Jews were and they are terminated or sent to be concentration camp. The Japanese cities of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki were almost whipped off when to the atomic bombs and were dropped on them. The dangers of nuclear holocaust was one of the major consequences of in this war. Germany was divided into the four zones. Germany was divided into four zones and each under control of another victorious power. The Nazi party has a ban with the German army and disbanded and Japan was placed under the USA supervisions. In 1949, when the Nazi were established and USA troops were withdrawn. The imperialism began with the USA and Soviet Union emerging of superpower. There is a imperialism began with USA and Soviet Union emerged as a superpower. The world was now divided into two power blocks. The first year communist bloc headed by Soviet Union and second year Western bloc by the USA. There is Soviet Union, generally you say USSR. The tension and the armed are confessed that the development between this bloc started the Cold War, which is a continue for a very long time. The Cold War started here 1945 and here 1991. There is a long period of time for the Cold War. A major impact of the war was the foundation of United Nations organization. You mean there are UNO. The UNO is a major impact of the war, the foundation of United Nations organization, and about which you will be read in their next section. The world has a sign there undergoes to many changes. The political map has a totally changed. A large number of nations in Asia and Africa who had suffered under the colonial rule are not independent and together there is now a major force in the world.